The WNBA's Indiana Fever are teetering on the edge of a catastrophe, and at the center of this storm is Caitlin Clark, the generational talent whose brilliance is being squandered by a coaching staff that seems oblivious to her value. On July 15, 2025, Clark's record-breaking performance against the Connecticut Sun, shattering 3 WNBA records in an 85-77 win, was marred by a devastating groin injury, her 10th missed game this season. As she limped to the bench in tears, the disconnect between Clark and coach Stephanie White became glaringly undeniable. While Clark battles recurring injuries and a system that stifles her strengths, whispers of the New York Liberty's interest grow louder, with reported meetings involving Clark, her agent, and Liberty stars like Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart. The writing's on the wall. White's mismanagement is pushing Clark toward the exit, and the Liberty, with their championship pedigree and star-friendly system, are poised to capitalize. This is a tale of missed opportunities, tone-deaf coaching, and a superstar's frustration reaching a breaking point. The groin injury, sustained after a pass in the Sun game, is no isolated incident. Clark's missed 10 games in 2025, including time for a left quad issue, and her right groin has flared repeatedly. Dr. Jesse Morse, a sports injury expert, notes groin strains are notoriously tricky, prone to rangery, and critical for basketball's explosive movements. Clark's emotional collapse, tears, towel over head, reflected not just physical pain but the weight of a season marked by unchecked aggression and coaching indifference. White's post-game response was jarringly casual. She felt a little something in her groin. "We'll evaluate." Imaging confirmed the injury, ruling Clark out for a July 16 game against the Liberty, yet White offered no clarity on her all-star status, saying, "No discussion yet about this weekend." For a player carrying the league's hopes, this shrug is staggering. White's coaching philosophy is the root of the problem. Clark thrives with the ball in her hands, orchestrating in transition, as seen in her 14-point, 13-assist, 64-point first-half explosion against the Liberty in June. Yet White insists on playing her off-ball, forcing her into a rigid system that curbs her creativity. Clark's been vocal. "I'm best in transition with the ball in my hands." Her 28.9% three-point shooting this season, a career low, reflects the mismatch, nagging injuries, and a system that doesn't maximize her strengths. White's comments reveal a disconnect. "We're trying to keep ball movement not just side to side but baseline to baseline." This focus on system over star ignores Clark's unique ability to bend defenses, as evidenced by her 22 assists on 29 baskets against the Sun. When healthy, she's a game-changer. Under White, she's struggling to find rhythm. The Fever's 5-5 record without Clark underscores their dependence. A recent 89-87 loss to the Sparks exposed their fragility, with turnovers spiking and scoring drying up. White's refusal to adapt, prioritizing her system over Clark's strengths, has led to a 12-8 record that feels precarious. Her post-game comments often downplay Clark's impact, as after a win over the Aces where she focused on defense rather than Clark's leadership from the bench. This pattern, minimizing Clark's role, mismanaging her injuries, has fueled frustration. Clark's emotional display after the Sun game wasn't just about pain, it was about a career being mishandled by a coach who doesn't grasp her value. Enter the New York Liberty, a franchise that screams competence. With a $450 million valuation, the richest in women's sports, they've built a championship culture around stars like Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. Coach Sandy Brondello's 5-out system, emphasizing spacing and pick-and-roll creativity, is tailor-made for Clark's game, unlike White's restrictive approach. The Liberty's interest isn't rumor. Clark's meetings with Brondello, Stewart, and Ionescu at Barclays Center, alongside her agent's presence, signal strategic moves. Her number 3 All-Star draft pick of Ionescu reflects mutual respect, a stark contrast to the tension with White. Liberty's CEO Kia Clark has praised Clark's undeniable impact on business growth, recognizing what Indiana seems blind to. These interactions aren't casual. Agents don't network with rival teams mid-season without reason. Clark's contract in its second year gives her time to explore options, and the Liberty's track record, 2023 champions back-to-back finals, makes them enticing. Stewart, locked in long-term, and Ionescu, a franchise cornerstone, thrive under Brondello's system, which adapts to stars, not vice versa. Clark's 32.73 outburst against the Liberty in June showed her potential in a system that lets her cook. The Fever, meanwhile, treat her like a cog, not the engine. White's comments about not wanting Clark under duress 94 feet ignore her ability to dominate with the ball, a baffling misread of a player who's elevated the WNBA's profile single-handedly. The All-Star Game, set for July 19 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, amplifies the stakes. Clark's coach trade, swapping Reeve for Brondello, was a power move, aligning her with a coach who understands star power. But her injury clouds her participation, a potential disaster for a league banking on her draw. White's vague updates, she hasn't gone full speed in practice, offer little hope, passing the buck to Clark's team. This isn't leadership, it's abdication. The Liberty, by contrast, would likely prioritize Clark's health, building around her strengths to prevent the burnout she's facing in Indiana. Clark's frustration is palpable. Her confidence, once ironclad, is eroding under injuries and a system that doesn't fit. The Fever's inability to keep her healthy, 10 missed games, a career-low shooting percentage, points to a deeper failure. White's tone-deaf responses, calling a tear-inducing injury a little something, alienate a star who deserves better. The Liberty offer a blueprint, a system that elevates stars, a coach who adapts, a culture that wins. Clark's agent isn't chatting with them for fun, it's a warning shot. If White doesn't wake up, the Fever risk losing the player who's made them relevant. The Liberty are waiting, and for Clark, the grass looks greener in New York.